But I don't think they really tell everyone.
Right.
So I do reveal some secrets. But just give me this sign.
It would spoil the
If I'm
illusion.
saying something you don't want, just go like this and I'll get the hint.
Boy, this room cooled off fast.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I know. The air is blasting out.
Okay, everybody silence your cell phones,
Am I
please.
saying it right, Gutierrez?
Gutierrez.
Gutierrez. I was
Gutierrez.
saying it wrong. I always say it's Gutierrez.
That's what I've been telling you.
Gutierrez. That is true, Joshua Schneider.
God damn it.
Schneider. Don't call him Schneider. All right, so we'll have theme music. I'll intro everything, and we'll get right
I'm
into
talking to
it.
you.
Yep, and then we only have one person for the Punch It Up, so we'll probably go till about 5:40, and then we'll bring our Punch It Up on.
Okay.
Good? And we'll punch him up.
Kosher.
Let's go, Ed.
Okay, when you hear the music, we're recording.
Is this just audio? Awesome. I didn't have four lips.
Well, we record it, but we sometimes put on.
But we do appreciate your spider ring.
Oh, yes, that was a gift.
All right.
I'm gonna pause now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of FlappCast, Behind the Funny, where we find out what goes on behind the scenes of a comedy club. I'm Barbara Holiday,
I'm Joshua Snyder.
and we have the amazing Debi Gutierrez with us today, our headliner this weekend at Flappers Burbank.
yes.
Welcome, Debi.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I said the name right.
Yes, you did. I love this club.
Gutierrez. Oh,
Gutierrez.
you do?
I do. I think it's a very romantic club.
Oh, romantic. Like
I
that
do.
opening music there?
Yeah,
Wasn't
just
that
everything's
romantic?
so romantic. It's like you're stepping into a different time, and it feels like the audience, I don't know, they just seem more romantic.
Well, it's perfect for your act, isn't
Yes, it is actually.
it? You're known as the mommy comic.
Yeah.
Is that still
For years
true,
I was known as the mommy comic.
or is that
but-
changing?
No, it's changed
Yeah.
because the kids moved out.
Oh,
Two of them
good.
moved out. I know.
Thank God.
One I think we threw out. But anyway, two are moved out. And what happened is I realized I kept putting my husband on the back burner and kind of, it was all about the kids. And then I realized at one point, oh crap, I'm going to be left with him at the end.
Oops.
These kids leave. And so I just started investing my time with him. And man, has it been such a great return on my investment. Much more than the children. So then I started really studying men. What happened is I listened to Chris Rock talk about comedy. And Chris Rock said, as an African-American comic, it was easy to make a black audience laugh. His challenge was to make a white audience laugh. I realized I was on the road for years as the mommy comic and how easy it was to make other moms laugh. But my challenge would be, let's make the men laugh at their experience, their romances, whatever it is. So that was my challenge, and I challenged myself to study men and to talk about them in a way that's positive. Because there's not any female comic up there going, I love them. They're unique, they're simple, you devote yourself, to just
Simple as a compliment.
Simple as a
It's a
compliment.
compliment.
They just need two things from you and they will do anything
And
for you.
I know what one of them is.
Yeah, which one?
I don't know. I mean, I only know one, but I mean,
Is it the food?
no.
Oh, then it's the other.
Right.
Once a week,
Yes.
every week on your calendar.
I thought it was twice a week. I'm
you know
doing
what?
too-
You're
I'm
never
working
gonna
too
have-
hard.
You're never going to have a man push you away
Right.
going, what am I, a piece of meat? Yeah.
And
I don't
that-
know what either of the things are. What are they? Can you just say? I genuinely don't know what they
Yeah,
are.
feed them and do them. And you really don't
Okay.
even, just feed them and do them.
Joshua here was a virgin until about a month ago.
How do we know this? Why do we know this?
32-year-old virgin.
Why do you know this, Barbara?
He
'Cause I
told
blasted
everyone.
across
He's
the
a
aisles.
comedian, and he told everyone. So isn't that interesting?
Very interesting.
Yeah. But so now he doesn't really understand how it all works. So he's going to find out when he watches you this weekend.
Yeah, I'm
and
pretty
sees-
good.
Yeah.
No, I do. I think I send couples from here appreciating each other, knowing more about each other, and I've been told they learn more here than they do in marriage counseling. Because in marriage counseling, there's always somebody who's telling you what you're doing wrong. And when you come in a comedy show and you hear what your husband's about or you hear what your wife's about, and it's all positive and funny, there's no bad guys, and I think they really do go out of here physically different, hand in hand, holding each other.
Right. Now, I've heard a little bit, if I might say, like some people might call you a little on the conservative side, or
I
do you
never
ever
knew that.
No,
No,
really?
yeah. I always thought I was pretty liberal-ish, But yeah, I guess I am conservative.
Well-
because you don't hear women out there saying, put your husband first. And I did The View. And Barbara Walters, she really backed me in a corner. I mean, she confronted me about the way that I parent my kids. She called me a mean mom.
Oh.
Yeah, because she said, because I have the baby's password, baby, she's 16, but I have her passwords for the computer, and she called me a mean mother.
Oh.
And yeah,
You're not supposed to have, wait.
no, that's my computer, first of all.
Yes.
That's my phone, first of all. And so then she said, you're a mean mom. And I said, yes. I went to mean mom school, and I was so good, they brought me back as a teacher. So, and then she cornered me on the once a week sex stuff. She goes, well, isn't that boring, And I go, no, it's not boring. It's kind of exciting when you schedule it. And then she said, it is! Because remember when you're first going in, you lost your virginity. Weren't you excited that day? Like, what's going to happen?
It's the best.
Yeah, oh my gosh, my
Craziest
husband's
day
waiting on
ever.
Wednesday. Is it Thursday? Is it Thursday? I'm like, almost. And so...
What day of the week is best?
We do Thursday, but I mean, if I touch him on a Wednesday, he's gonna go, what am I, a piece of meat?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so she kind of cornered me with that. She goes, really, every week? And I just got mad at her. I'm like, what's 10 minutes out of my day, Barbara? Come on. So
10 minutes?
Yeah.
That's long.
8 if you say the right
okay.
thing. Yeah, there are ways to speed it up. So,
I didn't know it took that long.
some guys are happy with 5.
Okay.
So once, I'm so good, I was done before I even got into the room.
Wow.
Yeah, done.
How did that happen?
Yeah, Law and Order's still on. Look, the jogger hasn't even found the body. We're good. So anyways, long story short, I guess I am a conservative.
Well, you know what's funny about it? I just wanted to bring it up because it's interesting to me. I think that when women do strong, opinionated comedy, which you do about the way that you feel about your husband and all
Yeah,
that, we always have to label women a certain way. Like even
Yeah.
with the mommy comic,
Yeah.
there's tons of women with babies who
Right.
are on stage, but why do we have to call you a mommy, or we have to say that you're conservative because you want to please your man?
Right.
Why is that conservative? I don't know.
I think maybe it's from a booking standpoint because
Yeah.
I've been there when they're answering the phones, like, what does she talk about?
And do
Yeah.
you like it when they
Yeah.
talk about you?
Yeah,
What did
well,
they-
it was interesting because somebody answered a phone, a club manager, and he said, she's the female comic for men and the women they love. And I love that, and I took it. But I think as a booker and a club owner, you have to find a way to describe who somebody is.
That's right. Yes.
So, but I see your point about the mommy comic because my kids are big now, and I
Right.
don't always talk about
Right.
the children.
But
So-
I have to say, Debbie, you look hotter now than you ever have before.
I'm an old broad too.
Oh my God, you look
I'm
fantastic.
old. It's
I don't even
funny.
want to know, but you look good.
Brad Garrett is my best friend, right? Just my best friend.
He's
I love that
awesome.
guy. Isn't he? I love
Yeah.
him. So we were in a room and together, and we were waiting to go on. And I said something about being 54. And he said, I'm 54 too. And I said, really? And then he didn't say anything for a long time. Then he goes, man, I look like shit.
He does look old. I mean, I have to say, he does look. I mean, you don't look 54. Yeah, at all.
I have a 30-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what is funny though? You're also a very petite.
I'm little.
You're a shorty. Yeah, like
People
me.
people
I
don't
guess.
realize because when I had my own.
4'8"?
No. I'm 5
5'1"?
feet. 5 feet
Oh,
tall.
5 foot. I'm 5'2".
Oh, are you?
So,
So you're tall and
wow.
lanky. So
yeah,
when I had my
I'm
talk
odd.
show, people didn't realize that they do things like my chair was taller than everybody else's, or when we'd go back, like when I go on the chew, they have an apple box for me to stand on when I cook. So it looks like I'm a lot taller, and then I jump out, like, oh wow, you can fit in my glove box.
I always think that smaller people are told that they're younger. Like Dave and I, everyone always thinks we're younger because we're tiny people,
yeah.
and they're always, I think
Yeah.
that we have a general observation that smaller people are younger.
Yeah, and
for
the
some
opposite
reason.
is true for kids that are big.
Right.
Like when a kid's big for his
Oh,
age,
yeah.
they think that he should be capable of doing so much more.
Right,
So.
right. Now your husband is so supportive
I know,
of your
right?
comedy, I have to say, and he's kind of your unofficial manager, or he is your manager.
Yeah, he watches out for me.
Helps
he really
handle
does
everything.
watch out for me. Yeah.
So what do you think it's like for him being in the not in the limelight? Is that hard, or does
It
he-
really isn't. It
Really?
really isn't. He loves what he does. He loves watching the audience. He loves gauging a joke. He loves giving me input. I'm not good on the phone. He's good at that kind of thing. He's pays attention to detail. He's really good at that. And I think it takes somebody who's not doing the same thing you are. Because we've all seen the couples that are married or date, and they're comics, and it's a constant who's better.
Right.
You know, so you
Right.
really do need somebody to be what?
That just true. It's
Okay,
true.
all right.
She's with a comic.
My boyfriend is a comic, and
Oh,
my
yeah.
partner
Yes.
in business, Dave. Everyone hears about that.
I was just talking. It is fun to watch.
You know
them.
what? It's hard because I'm so much funnier. So, you know, we just have to deal with that every now and then. But, no, here at the club even, we totally have separate pieces of the business, which I think is important.
It is, yeah.
Yet it's similar, like with your relationship.
Yeah.
And Travis, if you don't mind me saying, hi Travis, he's
Hi,
awesome.
Travi.
If you're listening, yeah, he's really great to work with.
He
and
is.
always very supportive.
Yeah.
And now you guys are out without kids, and
We have one left.
One left.
One
And
left.
how old is the?
She'll be 17,
Oh, so
and
that's,
we're going into homeschooling this year.
Oh.
Which is nice, because when I hit the road, she can go with me. And so I talked
And
to her.
how does a comic do homeschooling?
I know, it's like, well,
gonna
you know,
be
first of all,
awesome.
when you're a comedian, you
What's
have,
the deal with the Taft-Hartley Act?
the funny thing is that you have a lot of time on the road, a lot of time. So some of these places that I can choose can actually be places like Sacramento, where she can visit the state capitol. We can go to Springfield, Illinois, where Lincoln was from. The only place would probably be Vegas. I don't think there's a whole lot of homeschooling you can do in Vegas.
Yeehaw.
But yeah.
Come on.
And
But,
you were a
yeah.
teacher first. You
I
started out
was,
as-
yeah. I was
okay.
a teacher for 10 years, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
comes easily
She's
to
going
you.
back to her roots.
Yeah, I
Look at
taught
that.
English, journalism, and speech.
I feel like I can't keep up with the two of you in the conversation.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine.
We're chitty chatty
Sorry.
ladies,
Sorry.
right?
No, that's
Forgot all about you.
no. But it's interesting because I feel like people have made. I feel like male comedians have made this before, where like when two women are talking, it seems like the speed of conversation goes faster.
You know what's funny
And
too
we're-
is that we can jump back. Like when Barbara and I first saw each other today, we had like 4 stories going, and she would stop and adjust the lights and get this broom and fix this and that, and then I go, oh yeah, now what I was
Back
telling
to
you, yeah, back to that story.
You mean from previous conversations?
Right.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's us. We can do that. We can multitask.
Right.
So why did you choose to do the homeschooling? I'm just curious. Like, are you sick of public schools? Are they not doing what they need to do? Is she
I think so.
not
Yeah,
to the level
she's
you-
wasting a lot of time, I think, at public school. And you know what, Barbara? I have to be really proud of this kid. She came to us and said she was struggling with the culture in public school, and she no longer wanted to struggle with that culture. And it is a lot for a kid nowadays. You know, it's different when we were in high school. We didn't have the technology.
Social media.
Social media. I mean, I would see her mood change in 10 minutes in the car ride home because they're texting, or you were left out of a party, or, you know,
Bullies on
you're
that
bullied.
social
And,
media.
yeah. So, you know, and so school is just not a place that she was enjoying. And she felt like she couldn't be her best. We are a Christian family. We go to church every Sunday. She's very active in her church. She's actually looking to go to a Bible college when she's done with high school. So she was basically telling us, this isn't who I can be, and I want to be the best person I can be. And so
Wow.
we decided, you know what, if you're willing to make those sacrifices, we will too. So
That's a great.
I know, it's such a serious thing. for
Great.
a
I
comedian.
know. Yeah, but I can
Yeah.
imagine the homeschooling. It's going to be fun. Come on, you got to have a writing session. You have
Yeah,
a stand-up writing session every
She's
day at 3
hilarious.
o'clock.
Oh my gosh, she's hilarious. Our somebody at our church came to me and said, "You should do prison ministry. You know, go and do because there are comics that go do prison stuff."
Yeah.
So do you know Ralph Harris? the
Yes.
comic?
Uh-huh.
So I told Ralph, I go, you know what? Somebody wants me to do prison ministry. He goes, "Girl, unless Jesus Christ comes to the door and says, 'Let's go,' you stay home." So Pilar goes, "Mom, I'm going to be great. You open with Jesus died for our sins, mostly yours."
That's a
But I'm
great
bound.
joke. Oh,
And the kids
funny.
have always known if they write something and it stays in the act, they get paid.
You pay them?
Oh yeah. And then when they're in the green room, I
How
would tell them
much?
it's $75 if the joke stayed in.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's a lot of
It's a
money
lot for a kid. And then it was funny because when I would go do the shows when the older kids were little, I would say, "Don't you say anything funny. Don't you say anything
don't have
funny.
any money right now."
Right? Or don't you give anybody that stuff. That's mommy's stuff. Anything that comes out of your mouth, that's mommy's stuff."
Oh, I see. You bred them to be your writers. I
I
like
know,
it. I
yeah.
like it. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Keep it all in the
Do
family.
you think any of them will become comedians?
No.
No? Why not?
No. Not everybody wants to do what their parents do. And I think other people looking from the outside in are like, what a cool thing. Like they think it's cool that I know Louis Black. One of my kids like, oh, I love Louis Black. So they like that kind of stuff. But otherwise, because they've grown up with it, they haven't, it's no big deal for them. It's like if your dad worked at Macy's, you wouldn't go, man, I really want to do what my dad does. So,
Right.
yeah. So it's not really anything exciting for them. Sometimes
Yeah.
the people that come in and out of our lives are exciting.
Right.
Craig Robinson playing the piano at our house, or that's fun.
Yeah, well, comedians are a different breed.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
In fact, I did want to just ask you, because I hate to bring it down so much, but we have to say something about Robin Williams today, because my heart is just deep and dark right now, because I was a big fan of him, and people have been calling us even at the club. Someone left a rose and a note on the front door today of Flappers, and I would love to get your comments on what happened, and it's just devastating today for the comedy community.
Absolutely. And this show is called Behind the Funny.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
this is Behind the Funny. No,
Yeah.
I never had the privilege of working with him. But I know a lot of people who have, and they've all said the same thing. So kind to me. He was so kind to me. And as a comedian coming up in this business, there are very few headliners of that ilk, of his graduating class, that were kind to people.
Right.
And he was one of them. And I want to say a couple things. One, devastating. It's getting harder in this business, Barbara. This is my 20th anniversary in this business. And it's getting harder because we lose so many.
I know.
So many.
Particularly comedians.
Yeah.
It's like we're a troubled brain.
We
I
are.
guess,
We are.
You know?
And anybody who saw Robin Williams being interviewed, he was always on. And in this business, those comics that are so insecure, they have to be that personality all the time. And there is no real person. There was no, I know what I'm trying to say, but, he never showed his real self to us.
Right.
And so he was always on. And so when you asked me if I was shocked, I said part of me was shocked, and part of me got it. Part of me understood. And I want to say something as a journalism teacher, because I taught journalism, before I got into comedy, and there was a live press conference. And it was very upsetting that these reporters, either they wanted to hear their own voice, or they're morbid, or they're dark, or they thought the rules don't pertain to them, but they were asking intimate questions, even asked when they were told not to, they continued to ask.
Right.
And they would repeat themselves, and it was just so morbid to me that the family asked us out of the gate. The family said, remember his humor, remember his life, not how he died. And he died of depression. That's what he died of.
Right.
And suicide was the side effect of his depression, his clinical depression.
Yeah.
And it's very sad, and I hope that we remember him as a philanthropist.
Yeah.
People forget about him being so generous. We never had telethons where people called in to donate money. No, I mean Jerry Lewis, but that was for
Right.
But
MDA only.
yeah, but Robin Williams looked at the community at large and said, we have homeless people that aren't eating. What can we do for them? And he, kept that going for a very, very long time.
Well, I think comedy, is what I know for me. I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't have comedy. It's what relieves all that stress and pressure, and comedy is the best thing for I think it's very helpful for people going through depression, and there's so little words to say. I just wanted to acknowledge him today because he's on our mind, and we're gonna miss him so much. I'm gonna I never even knew him, and yet I feel like he's a part of my life.
He influenced every comic and clown.
Yeah, and Mork and Mindy, my God, that was
my daughter
amazing.
said to me, my daughter last night, she was calling because she goes, we want to watch a movie with Robin Williams, and she was going, which one should we watch? And she was naming these movies, and she said, there's never not been a Robin Williams for me. And I thought that was interesting, that she doesn't remember when he got his start or how he progressed. There's just always been a Robin Williams.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have a favorite movie or TV show or comedy special?
With Robin Williams?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I loved Fisher King. I
Yeah.
thought Fisher King was pretty amazing.
For me, his live on Broadway.
Oh,
that he did.
yeah.
That I think in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I remember that was a really.
He was a machine.
Yeah, I watched that one over.
He was a
and over.
machine, yeah.
Just nobody could improv like him. I mean, it's everyone would always. I know. I've even been in auditions where they said like, just be like Robin Williams, and it's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I can't be like Robin Williams.
Well, like that
Who's gonna
famous,
be?
he was
I
on
can't
Inside
do
the Actors
that.
Studio and he did a 10-minute riff.
Oh,
that's,
he just could
Yeah.
go, and he was a show we produce here called Set List by Troy Conrad. Robin had done it, and there was some rumor that he might be making it here, and that never happened. But he was a genius in that show, and that's an improv-based show. Well,
And Rick D said the easiest interview ever was "Welcome, Robin," and it was an hour out of that. And but I do hope that we remember his philanthropy. We remember his goodness. We all take time to note that clinical depression is the cancer of the day now, and that it doesn't have all these symptoms we can see, and that it's not just a Facebook post, that we really do check in with our neighbors and check in with your kids and check in with your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and when somebody says
employees.
and just
hard.
really listen.
And it is hard to do that. We forget. We just need to reach out and be, as you said, great humans to each other.
Well, and especially with
Nice to each
Facebook
other.
and Twitter and Instagram, where it feels like everybody's life is better, and it's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's just, the way I look at social media, like when you're talking about your daughter, which is so interesting because it's when we were in school, right? I mean, you just, if someone was mean to you, you just didn't walk by that locker.
Exactly.
Right? You went a
Exactly.
different way.
Yeah.
But with social media, it's like the lockers are everywhere.
Exactly.
You cannot,
the lockers are everywhere. I love that.
You cannot even get away
It's
from
too
it.
social. the social
Social media is
It's
too
too
social.
Too
I
social.
prefer antisocial.
Unsocial media, anti-social media. Funny. Well, Nanu, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
You'll still be in our community forever. That I know.
Captain, my captain.
Yes.
See?
Yes, we did. We put a post up there today.
Captain, my captain.
Yeah,
the one I
that's-
like is Genie, Now You're Free. Because he was the genie.
Yeah. Oh, that was great too. So
Yeah.
many. Well, Debi's going to be here this weekend.
I am.
Friday and Saturday, 8 and 10 o'clock.
A 10 o'clock show? No.
Uh-oh, she forgot.
It's my Steve Martin quick
Whoops.
comedy. Remember that?
Right. Wait a minute. Maybe for you, we should put them at like 5 and 7. Would that be better?
Right?
No.
I love that senior schedule. My daughter won't go stay with my mom. She's like, no. And I go, why? She has me on the senior schedule. We eat dinner at 4.
God.
We go shopping at Kohl's on Tuesday. And we're in bed at 7. I'm like, that's the
crazy.
life.
Yeah.
10 o'clock show. I'm up here doing my bit. But in my mind, I'm thinking, I know what pajamas I'm going to wear tonight.
Now, does Pilar come to any of the shows? I mean, she's 17. Do you?
You know, Barbara, again, not everybody's fascinated with their mom's
Right.
work. And I always think of Bette Midler, whose daughter told her one time, Bette Midler said she was in the kitchen cleaning and singing, and her daughter said, would you not sing? So kids aren't always fascinated with what their parents do for a living. She'll probably come to see Devin. She loves Devin.
Oh,
So,
yes.
yeah.
Devin Green in our bar doing live
So
music.
all my kids
on the
serve their
ukulele.
time in bars. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She loves Devin. So,
Great.
yeah.
And Devin Green's husband, Joel Bryant, will be hosting
Love
for
him.
us.
Love him.
Joel is adorable.
Yeah.
You'll want to definitely come and see him. And there's rumor, but Debi just knows a lot of people, so you never know who's going to drop in and do some guest spots
Yeah, I
for
did have
us.
some of these guys.
Yeah.
Hey, come on in and play.
I won't
So-
name names, but
Yeah.
you never know.
You never know.
We could have a surprise celebrity guests dropping in.
These
all
guys
week.
like me.
Yes.
So why Thursday?
Oh! Yeah, what is it about Thursdays?
I don't don't know. It's kind of a busy day at our house. Actually, Wednesday's pretty busy. So, if I can get the trash out that night. And, there's a lot of things I had planned on Wednesday. So.
And you're also venturing into more dating and coaching, right? Or relationship coaching?
I do talk a lot
doing...
about,
But are you
dating and
getting into
relationships.
maybe more of those kind of sessions or seminars or speaking engagements?
Oh, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. No,
Uh-huh.
I do a lot of marriage encounter.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of
okay.
marriage encounter weeks where people come and again, you
Wait,
can hear
a whole week?
No, weekends.
Weekends,
And so
okay.
I'm one of the session speakers that will
Oh.
talk about, love, marriage, sex, intimacy, communication in a way that's funny. So.
And yeah, all sexual communication is funny to me.
Right?
I don't know. Just
I
to
don't know,
me.
the thing that I'm playing
Just to
with
me.
right now too is like, let's see if having sex every night of the week for 5 days will change our relationship with each other.
And
it kind of is. Pilar's at camp this week, poor thing. But it's kind of, you have the house to yourself and that kind of thing. But it really is a communication tool. It's when you're talking, this is the way men communicate through sex. So that's
So I've been deaf
I
and mute
believe
for
this.
32
32 years.
I think that's why I could never be a lesbian because I'm like, damn, we'd have to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
Yeah, that would suck.
So, right? So I think they did a Sex in the City episode like that where Samantha tried it, just like women are not for me, but it not lesbian. God bless them and go with God, but I don't think I could be involved in that much talking all the time.
right.
How
But
exactly
but
do
if-
men, how do men communicate through
With
sex?
sex.
With sex.
Because by having sex. By having sex, they're saying, I love you, of course, right? We can all agree. They're also saying, hey, I love you in those jeans, right? But it could be, and
Or
this
I
is
love your
interesting.
boobs.
I love
That's
your
what they're
boobs.
saying.
But it could also be, believe it or not, they're letting go of people at work. People are getting the pink slips. This is a guy that's saying, I can still provide for my family, right? I got you, right? Believe in me, trust me, I got you. And he's saying that with sex. A guy might have a friend of his that's screwing around on his wife. And your husband will never tell you, hey, who's screwing around his wife. But that night he'll grab you because he wants to know, we're good, right? We're good. I'll never do that. You'll never do that, right? So there are a lot of things that your husband's saying. Sometimes they don't feel as young as they, at the softball game at work. They don't feel as young. And by having sex and by you getting excited and having sex with him, you're telling him, oh, you're still young and you're handsome and I'm not noticing hair loss. And you know what I mean? It just communicates so much back to them.
Okay, so I have questions.
Okay,
I have
it's
questions,
acceptance,
Debbie.
it's respect.
So many
okay,
questions.
Barbara
Come
Walters.
on. Okay, so what do you do if you're, and I'm not saying this is me.
So she's saying this is
A
her.
friend of mine.
Oh, a friend.
Yes, a couple of friends. A friend who's a couple. No, what if, I always wonder about this. If, there's always a time where one of you is definitely more active than the other.
Right.
And then it shifts.
Right.
I've been in a relationship for 18 years.
Yeah, but if you're waiting for both of you to feel it at the same time,
You're
it's
never-
never going to happen.
Okay,
It's
that's
like
what I
going
want
to the
to know.
gym. It's like going to the gym. Do you ever go like, you go to the gym? No, you're like, crap, I got to go to the gym. Oh, man, 5, I got to go to the gym. 6, I got to go to the gym. And nobody ever leaves the gym going, I wish I didn't do that. Everybody leaves with the same attitude, like, that was pretty good. I wasn't looking forward to it, but that was pretty good. And that same thing I say to moms, I go, you know how many times you listen to the same damn song over and over going, oh, honey, you're so good. Mommy loves you. Sing it again. You don't want to hear it again. You're not that excited. But you got to do that with your husband, too. Fake it. Fake it till you make it.
I see.
Yeah.
So, but what if one of them, my friends, let's say, is like definitely super active, and the other one maybe not so much? How do you put it down gently? How do you, or do you just have to go with it?
Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, then it gets to be a chore. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
Gee, I'm wondering which
but
one
I
of
do
your
find-
friends is the more active one.
But
Right.
I do find, especially with, like, hey, let's schedule it every night, like I've been trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, there was one night he was like, really? No, I'm not, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I think that men.
And you're like, mission accomplished.
Yeah. I think men say they want more sex than they actually do. Because they do get a lot of satisfaction. And it is a connection for them. And they're looking for that connection, not just a physical release. And so I think they're feeling closer, And then all of a sudden you start doing more things together. You're laughing harder, you're holding hands, you're sitting
Oh, I thought you
closer.
meant like doing more things.
Oh.
No?
Any thoughts
All
on
right.
positions? Kama Sutra and all that stuff?
See?
Whatever
the virgin
float- I
needs
know, right.
education. He
Right,
does.
whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat.
Gotcha. Have you tried the, I don't know, shark plays the mandolin or whatever the position is?
I don't even know
I don't
that
even know
one.
that one, right?
Jeez, inform us.
Well, like, you know, the Kama Sutra,
Shark?
like I'm looking through all the pictures of
Shark
Which-
plays the
Man, you are such a virgin. Jeez, I'm looking at pictures.
it's the ultimate of window shopping. It's
Yeah.
kind of like looking at classic cars. But there was like one, you know, like the ladybird plays the mandolin, or these weird positions where she's upside down, hanging from a tree.
You have had a lot of time to read.
Yes, I have.
Friends.
You should have seen the first day. He was like, "Oh, we were like, you know, face to face," and I was like, "Yeah, that's the missionary position."
You should
All
not be
right.
talking. A gentleman does not discuss. I mean, I'm talking about sex, yes, but I mean that's kind of what I do. But as a gentleman, you should not be
Here's the
saying these
advice.
kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not cool.
The gentleman should
That's
keep
not
it
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Zip the lip. Is
Yeah,
what she's
you're going to
saying.
get much more out of your
Lady
relationship if
attention.
you're respectful. Yeah.
Oh, there's so many more things wrong with me beyond
Okay.
that. This, like, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Well, I bet after shows, do people get hot with you about it sometimes too, though, or do they ask you questions like I'm doing? Because in hearing you talk about it, you do really sound like an expert.
I read a lot of books. Like I said, that Chris Rock interview really spoke to me. And I did go out and I started studying relationships, and I started studying men, and I started studying how they communicate, and I started studying how they react with each other. And women want to be involved with men, but they can't. You cannot be a man's friend. You cannot be a man's friend. I am not my husband's friend. My husband punches his friends in the nuts.
Right.
And that is okay. Right? That's okay. And the guy that gets hit in the nuts goes, "Oh, I didn't see you coming. I gotta buy drinks." I would never, ever punch you in the vagina and go, "We should go to Macy's and you buy me a dress."
Right.
That would never happen. And so, you know,
It's a different kind of
it's
relationship.
a different kind of relationship. So, and I encourage women, you gotta let your men go play. You gotta let them be guys. You gotta let them do those things and be aggressive with each other, because they're gonna come back gentler. And I also speak about gay men, because I think it's a shame that
I
women.
love my gay men. I love
See, you gotta
my
be
gay
careful.
men.
You gotta be careful, because gay men are still men, and I think that women treat gay
They
men.
want me? You mean my gay friends want me?
No. But I think men.
Are they listening?
I believe that men in general are much more sensible. They'll give you an answer if you have a question, and they expect you to take that answer. They don't want to get involved with all your bullshit and your drama. You know what I mean? And I mean, and yet we treat our gay men like they're, you know, our best girlfriend, and they're not. You know, if you go, "Hey, I'm really bummed because Steve keeps stepping out on me," and a gay guy will probably go, "Well, then you should dump Steve." You know, and so he'll give you a logical answer. So treat him like a man. He's still a man, you know. But I think that we tend to treat them like they're women, and they're not. No.
But they do. They are a lot cleaner. I do, and they're a little more organized. I know that's totally stereotypical, but anyway, and they're always doing something. See, the thing with my gay friends versus my relationship with Dave is that, like, my gay friends are always doing things.
You know, I think
And
that,
so
there's
they're
a
my
work
friends.
ethic there that is
Yes.
unbelievable.
Yes,
Right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
Dave, I mean,
true, it's true.
Dave is planting corn. I mean, that's something.
No, but Dave might, you know.
Dave's planting
I'm just
corn
saying- yes, Dave plants corn in the front yard.
in the front yard.
See, the conservative.
That's all kinds of wrong, right?
Oh,
Why don't you just
see?
have chickens in the backyard?
Okay, so I go out and then I go to Hair and various musicals with my gay friends. It is true.
And he's tilling
it's
the
very
fields, you know.
stereotypical, but my that's
And working on the
why
pond
we're
at the back,
together
right?
for
The
18
Visual
years.
Pond
This
project.
is yes. No, but I love watching you, Debbie, because you do always inspire me to think about the relationship between men and women differently. And I think that you're right on a few things, and I think you push buttons, which is great.
I do.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
and you
that
know,
you push buttons.
I encourage men too. There's a point in my show where I say, I talk about Facebook and how I ask guys on Facebook, because again, the social media will have us believing that we need to be as big as this microphone for anybody to love us. And that's not true.
Oh, good
Right?
news, Josh.
Yeah.
Very good.
So, wait, no, I don't mean this, like that microphone stand.
Oh.
So we don't have to be a size 0 for men to love us. And so I encourage men to write me, hey, what do you love about your girlfriend? What do you love about your wife? And of course you're going to get boobs and butt. I mean, I even like boobs. You know, we'll do, let me motorboat you. Okay, now you do me. And so you're going to get tits and ass. But these guys are writing, I like that my wife's hand is little and I can put my hand over hers. I like that my wife...
Not that I feel huge in her hand, little tiny hand.
Yeah, I like that I can protect her. And, you know, one guy said, I like when she puts her hair up because I like this part of her neck. And they were really pretty answers. And so I turn my back on the audience. I invite them in. And this is after I have already gotten them in, like, oh, she gets us. And she's telling the truth about us. And so then I say, I want you to whisper into her ear that part of her body that drives you crazy, because she probably hasn't heard it. She doesn't know there's part of your body that makes you crazy. And I also tell them, look, if you're under the gun, one guy did say the inner part of the elbow. He said because it's the softest skin he's ever felt. You never know what guys love. And so, so anyway, so I did it, you know, and I've done shows all over the country. And I was in Vegas, and this woman came up to me. She had to be 80, and she said, my husband, who she's been married to since she was 16, he said he liked my breasts. And then she teared up. She goes, he's never told me that before. Where do you get that? Not at a comedy show. You know what I mean? So I just felt like I'm opening the door for these guys to be comfortable with their wives and say, in a world of size 0s and 2s, that he can say, I love your big butt. I love your big butt. You know what I mean? Or I love your curly hair, or whatever it is. So,
Did you hear that, Dave? You love my big butt. You need to say that
loves
over
my butt.
and
Oh
over.
my God. I can't even take clothes out of the dryer. He's like, oh, look at you teasing me. Look at you teasing me.
Oh, wow.
On Thursday.
Only
Oh,
on
no.
Thursday. No.
Multiple days.
So you're in. I'm going to take this. I'm going to try this exercise of every day, and we'll see if the employees
You know what?
here
Don't
find
go-
that we're in a better mood every day.
Don't go
No?
crazy. I would go like
Maybe 5 out of 7 days.
I would start.
4 out of
I would just
7.
start, revving up your game. So if you're like at once a week,
You mean like once a month? I got to rev up. I got to get at least.
You gotta
to
get
once
up
a
there to
month.
once a month.
Yes.
I would start
Good
revving
stuff.
up. You know.
All right. I'm going to
Yeah.
work on it. No, it is work. That's one thing people don't realize.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you said. You're not always. You're not going to be jumping for joy every minute you're around someone for 18 years.
Right. No.
Pause.
Not even every second. No, I'm kidding.
But I think we look at it too much. I think
Yeah.
women look at sex too much as the end result. And it's not.
It should just be sort of all muzzled into everything
I
else,
think,
right?
Yeah, and I think that it's kind of the beginning of other things. It's the beginning of waking up and, he
It's-
made a pot of coffee. You know what I
It's the
mean?
beginning of getting dishes done.
Exactly.
It's the beginning of getting vacuuming done.
It-
It's the beginning of...
Of him helping you, of him listening to you,
Right.
of him, hey, let's go to dinner,
But do you ever use it? Because I do use it. I'll say, well, if we can go get this, is that horrible?
I'll do that
Is
thing that you
horrible?
like.
Is that horrible?
No, I don't think so. It's a game.
Yeah,
It's
is.
a game. Have
I
some fun
use
with it.
Sex is very powerful.
Yeah.
I have to say, I have a term called Hollywood flirting that I use in business. That's what I call it. Well, if people are attracted to you, I mean, I have to say, I think I have a little bit of something. I don't know.
You have some sex appeal.
People are attracted to
yes.
me, and so I'm
You're
not
a woman
going to.
with power.
Yeah, I'm not going to go sleep with them or anything.
Right.
But if they find me attractive, I use my female abilities
And
to
you
get
know
what I need and want, and I call it Hollywood flirting.
I have something similar called Hollywood awkwardness, but it's the exact opposite result.
I think
It's
flirting is
useless.
wonderful. Flirting is wonderful.
Yeah,
you know?
why not?
Yeah, when you see
Right?
somebody flirting with your guy, it kind of like, oh yeah, he is cute. You know, and if somebody
Yeah.
flirts with you, it does feel good. You know. So
Do you know what flirting is, John?
I actually, I gotta be honest with you, I don't.
He doesn't
Because
know.
in the past, people have accused me of saying, "Oh, you were flirting with her," and I was like, "No, I was just talking to her.
That's right. I've said you were flirting and you weren't.
Right.
Right.
So I honestly don't know what
Maybe.
flirting is.
It's just talking with the opposite sex, basically. That's
Oh,
what it
that.
is. When you yes.
Okay, I do that from time to time.
admiration, I think.
Well, seriously, if you've not seen Debi Gutierrez, did I say it wrong now? Gutierrez.
That's fine.
Debi Gutierrez. I always want to say Gutierrez, but it's Gutierrez. What is your website, Debi?
Debbie on the web.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
But it's DEBI.
Debbie on the web.
Yes.
And you can see clips on there too from some of the latest stuff. I I'm asked to be part of the rotating hosts for The Chew on ABC.
Excellent.
So that's pretty big. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I co-hosted The View, and there was a little bit of buzz out there that they wanted me to come out to The View to be on there a little bit more, which I don't know because they're. Oh. Oh, my friend Sherry Shepard.
Crazy View.
Oh my gosh, she went on Jay Leno. She went on Showbiz Tonight. Wendy Williams with my picture and everything. I want Debbie, and I'm like, I'd have to call her Sherry.
Wow.
You're crazy.
Well, we will see what happens
Yeah.
there, huh?
Yeah.
Well, whatever you
Well,
wish.
Barbara Walters is retiring,
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
gone.
Okay.
Everyththing's changed over there. The
Yeah.
view has changed. Everything.
Well, The View.
It's a very different view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it reflects on women well. I mean, because I love my friends. I love my girlfriends.
Yeah.
If you're down for a week, I'm going to show up to your house with a casserole.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to kick you when you're down, which is kind of what they're looking for on The View. Is this whole new view is coming back. That's going to be very political and very polarizing. And I don't think that's what women who I don't think that's very
Sounds
representative of women.
It sounds very reality TV kind of,
Yeah, it does, right? Yeah, no, so.
or not, because there's good reality TV and there's bad reality.
Yeah, but
It's
you
not
would
bad
you would
reality.
bring up a nice angle to it, I think. Definitely as far as the relationship stuff
I
goes,
agree,
right?
Barbara, but
Yeah.
I think they'd rather see that woman who's fighting with her husband.
Right.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
Bitch sessions.
Yeah.
That's what, TV's about conflict. Well,
Yes.
don't stop doing what
TV is
you
about
do.
conflict. Show me a shirt. Oh my gosh.
You just need to keep staying on the stage though, because you are wonderful. And what is you are all over the place. I mean, you're here at Flappers this weekend, but where's your next venture? You go all over the country.
I
In
do.
Vegas a ton.
Vegas a lot.
Yeah.
I love the MGM. They treat me like a queen there. It's a great, great club. I love that. It's beautiful.
When's your next MGM gig?
It's in November. And also the MGM has asked me to come every Valentine's week.
Oh no! We have had Debbie here for 2 Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
for eternity? You're
They
going?
said as long as we have a comedy club, we'd love for you to be here
That is
Valentine's
so
week.
awesome.
So it really is kind of cool that, I sold out 3 nights over there during Valentine's week. But, it's what I'm talking about, which is
Right.
great. I love that I'm talking about love and sex and intimacy and treating each other well and
Yeah.
making it funny.
Right.
Where people can laugh.
Well, we'll do Valentine's Day in July. How about that?
Okay.
And then you can come, or August, whatever.
We should do like a wedding renewal vow or some wedding
Oh,
vow
yeah.
renewal and just have wedding cake and
Just call it Hot August.
Hot August. There you go.
That's what we're doing this weekend. Hot August with Debbie.
All right.
So, Debbie, you have such wisdom, such comedy knowledge. We have this segment on FlappCast called Punch It Up.
Love that.
Where we like to bring on newer comics and have them do a little time for us and ask the experts like you to give them maybe a few tags, some ideas. Would you
Awesome.
be into that?
I would love that.
Okay, well, Joshua, who is our first comedian today?
Our
on
comedian
Punch It
today
Up?
is Matt Schneider.
All right, give it up for Matt. Hi.
Yeah, should I face you?
Whatever you like.
Whatever you're
Matt.
comfortable
Okay.
with.
All right. Here we go.
Go.
Most guys go to strip clubs and make it rain with dollars,
Right?
but I find that offensive. I'm Jewish, so I use pennies to make it drizzle. I'm so cheap I go into gay bars just so someone will finally buy me a drink. I have a horrible gaydar, though. I can't even tell if I'm gay. I don't do drugs, in case you're wondering. And it's not because I'm morally opposed to them, it's just because I'm too busy being an alcoholic. The other night I was drunk and I actually had to drive. But don't worry, it was an emergency. A girl agreed to have sex with me. It was an emergency. Sorry. But she ended up not being pleased with how I was in bed. How rude! I'm embarrassed. And now I'm more embarrassed that I'm admitting this to you on a podcast. I guess I should have thought about that. But I told her, because of stand-up comedy, I actually perform better in front of a larger crowd. So I told her, next time, bring some of her girlfriends, because I'll be better at an orgy. Okay. I actually don't talk well with girls one-on-one like Josh over here. I make things awkward usually, and tend to say things that might be deemed offensive from time to time. And typically this happens when I'm rejected by a girl, which I'm happy to say happens pretty often. I walked up to the hottest girl in a club, and she said, "There's no chance you have enough money for me to come home with you tonight." And I replied, "Wrong! You'd be surprised how cheap chloroform, a rag, and a rented white van are. You're coming with me." Another night, I went up to a girl, I could say maybe a plus-size girl. Is that politically correct? I tapped her on the shoulder, and she turned around and she said, "Oh, hell no, not interested," as butter dripped off her face. And I said, "Sorry, Cookie Monster, I thought you just weren't that particular about what you put in your mouth." All right, so I switched to online dating because I realized people tend to like my pictures until I start talking, and then I lose them. So I did an online date, and I saw this girl who had stunning pictures. Her profile said she was a model, so I met her. In person, she looked nothing like her pictures, and she admitted she's only a hand model. And things were going okay, I guess, and after the first drink, she said, "Can I be honest?" And I'm like, "Are you going to tell me you're wearing a costume?" And she said, no, that she's just feeling a friend vibe from this date. A friend vibe. And I said, "What? I'm feeling no vibe. Good luck with your hand jobs." And then ran away. Another date I had was with a stripper. Everything was going great until she abruptly said, "I think we should just be friends without benefits." And I replied, "That's why nobody pays you to think, glitter tits." Oh, perfect.
Oh, great, Matt.
Okay, thank you.
Come on over here and talk to us. Bring that mic. Welcome, welcome.
All right.
How long you been doing comedy?
Like a year and a half now.
Oh, wow. Very new. Very new.
Yeah.
Great job. I
Thank
mean,
you.
positive, funny, playful, goofy, silly,
Oh, good.
great character.
Uh-oh.
Debbie, do you have some stuff you want to add?
First of all, I like you.
Okay,
I like the way you look.
thank you.
And the audience will too.
But,
That's not a but. I'm just saying, I like you. You're likable.
oh,
I like the way that you're just likable. And so you should use that to your advantage. Because, and you don't look like a guy that would put down women, which is why that opening joke was the best one. I thought, I make it drizzle. So you're kind of that lovable guy that just kind of doesn't get it. And I know I'm supposed to be positive here, and I'm trying to be, but it's just the mean stuff doesn't go with you. You come
It's
across,
interesting.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're gonna be mean, you gotta be mean the whole time. You gotta be like that Andrew Dice. Nobody likes him. But your whole persona is so likable and funny and quirky and Jewish and and so
stick with that more.
yeah, those jokes. I thought those jokes were brilliant.
Yeah.
I liked those jokes a lot. Yeah.
My big no was embrace your awkwardness.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
Your magic is that, I'm not sure even if you should watch tape, but your little undercuts where you're like delivering something and then you're like underneath it, you sort of hit it with, it's a little Wendy Lehman style. Oh,
Yeah.
but just a tiny, but you're putting these little awkward little thing in there. I don't know if you're even aware of it, but that to me is your magic.
Right. Yeah, like the Cookie Monster is a jab, but it could be that same Cookie Monster could also be something like you didn't even realize that you're hurting your feelings. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and hand, like I was going with hand model. Better, don't go for the obvious hand job, but go have some fun with the hand model, like a doofus awkward guy would.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like maybe the hand was dressed in a Gucci dress or something when you saw the picture. You know what I mean? Like we're already thinking when you said hand model, like hand job and all that. So what you want to do is take us a different direction.
Right.
Take us in a more awkward direction, because that is your everyone has something. This is Cynthia Zaghetti, I'm quoting, who's amazing. Everyone has something, special, unique, and different about them.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't always, bring it to the surface. And you're only been in a year and a half, which is such a short time. You may not even realize how important that part of what you're doing is. But like Debbie said, that's the likable thing. I agree with the clothing and the dressing and all that.
The face, everything. You're likable, and you know what? You're
Delivery.
castable.
Yeah.
And that's important too, because you're very castable. So they're looking at people that they want to like, and they like the awkward guy. They don't always like the mean guy. You get a mean guy every, dime a dozen on those sitcoms. But you're cute, you're likable.
See, I guess maybe I was thinking the mean stuff is a little unpredictable because only in the sense that you might expect me to be awkward. So then if it's like mean, isn't that unpredictable or no?
Interesting point you're making, but let me give you an example. Like your first couple of jokes, like the gay bar, I don't even know if I'm gay.
I love that.
Great.
I love
awesome.
that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And the no drugs, alcohol instead.
Yeah.
Those are solid.
Absolutely.
And they also support your persona.
Exactly.
What we're saying, I think, is that like when you went to sort of the meaner stuff, it actually doesn't support your persona.
Right.
Because you wouldn't really do that. Here's the thing: the honesty is better than the presumption of what you think a comic should say. Right? So
Right, definitely.
don't try and think about, well, if I go mean, then it's against what. Stick with the stuff that's real, like you said, like the gay part. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if I'm gay. That kind of stuff. That comes from reality. I can tell. I can see it in your face.
And you only had 2 jokes about the gay bit. You
Yeah.
need a third one. You need a third
Ooh,
one
so-
to make it a bit. So
Right.
just
Triple.
exactly. And the same thing with the
Jewish.
the Jewish going to a strip club, because I think that you could really mine in there some good stuff. But see, that's you, and that's what people want to like you. When you get on stage, people want to like you, and you already start off looking like, I could like him. I could like him. Oh my God, he with the money, with the coins. Oh my God, that's so.
What was the coin?
The stripper thing.
Right, the
I don't
drizzle.
even know if I'm gay. Hilarious.
Right.
So you need to.
And then it took a nosedive when I talked about the girls.
Not a nosedive, but like Barbara said, it didn't support.
Or didn't seem sincere.
You would, yeah.
Authentic.
Well,
authentic.
Like, would you really
be mean?
Again, you actually hit the nail on the head. You just said it yourself a minute ago when you said, well, I thought that I should go that because you wouldn't think that a guy like me was like that. That's where you're steering wrong. Don't try and think about what you should do. Just talk about the things that you are doing. Does that, and embellish those.
Right.
I mean, it's interesting, like when headliners like Debi, when you watch her do this whole, she minds a bit for a long time. Like, I think there's certain things that she'll do, but it's all based in truth. I mean, in a sense, we embellish it and we glamorize it, and we do go spin it for the joke,
Right.
But you're not a mean person at all.
No.
Right. So I think that the audience can smell that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just your demeanor, your whole demeanor. And once you establish your point of view, you can go anywhere. My point of view is that no-nonsense mom who loves her husband, and you kids better stay out of my way with daddy. And so once you have that, you can take anything that's happening in the world and put in your point of view. And so I just love that whole, maybe I am gay. I just kind of love that.
Yeah.
And that's, it's very likable.
Well, you dress well.
Yeah.
So you could be.
Oh,
gay,
hello.
right?
Is it my shoes? I mean, you could just have so much fun with that.
Right.
And just use what's working for you already. And a lot of comics forget about their physicality. And so take your physicality into consideration. And if this is how you're going to look, when you come on stage, you can even say something about the tie. And you know what I mean? You just,
See, one of my jokes, it's just very stupid and corny, though. It's like, some of my friends say I dress very nice and I'm a metrosexual, and I say, idiots, I don't have sex on subways.
hilarious.
Great.
Good of it.
And supports the awkwardness.
Exactly.
It's
All right, so that is
Exactly.
that's the direction, I think.
Okay.
And if you do that without some of that other meaner, you'll have a lot more opportunities too.
Absolutely.
Those are TV jokes
right.
too. That
Yeah.
could be a late night TV set with that persona and those jokes.
And can I say something about being a female comic? I'll request a guy that the audiences like. I don't want a guy that's getting up there and he's a woman hater, because now I got to dig myself out of that hole. You know what I mean? I can't go up there and talk about how great guys are if this guy's just shit all over the audience. And so,
Right.
you know what I mean? So So if you are if you really play up that whole awkward, what do you think? I don't know, just that whole thing, that's just going to get you more work.
Mm.
There are mean guys that are a dime a dozen, and you know what? You can't take 40 minutes of mean.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's even particularly some comics who are like that, who, again, they don't necessarily have as many opportunities as others because they're really pigeonholed into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you're doing something that's different. I really like your persona.
I do too.
And I would encourage you to watch, I don't know if we recorded it today, but you should watch some tape on yourself and see what I'm talking about. I talk about this a lot. We had a guy once who was literally, I'm going to tell you, literally crazy, like crazy, right? And he would do his comedy on stage, and Dave and I were coaching him, and the thing was, he would get huge laughs when he was like really crazy. Then when he would try and manage the crazy and do the joke the way, then it didn't work. Mm-hmm. And so I always use this, if he's listening, I'm going to even call it the Harold Smith, and I wrote this, embrace your awkwardness. And I really mean that if you really are understanding that what the audience is laughing at is your awkwardness, and you sort of really embrace it, you could say anything and you're going to get a laugh.
And they'll go
like
with you.
The post office.
Yeah, right.
Do we still use one?
Yeah. I get it.
Being you. So, right, and so, please.
Right, rather than try to force,
I challenge you to
what I
talk
was
like
trying
that
to
for a day.
an unexpected
I challenge you to
surprise
talk
on
like
them.
that for a
The
day.
Was I sort of
metrosexual
Seinfeld?
joke?
Yeah.
If you had done the stripper joke, the metrosexual joke, and the gay bar joke, and just added to that, that could be 5 to 7 minutes of who you are.
Yeah.
And it's just funny, likable, and don't forget about casting. A lot of comics forget about casting. And
Right, they don't want to. They go, I'm going to do it. I'm going to, yes.
exactly.
But
yeah.
you can, if you set yourself up right the way to, and especially early on, he's only a year and a half
Yeah.
in. This is great advice to follow because if you do want to pursue other things, the casting is crucial. We do cast in comedy, whether anyone wants to admit it or not, we do.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need a woman, sometimes we need a guy, sometimes we need a gay guy, sometimes we need a black woman,
Yeah.
sometimes we need an awkward guy. And especially for live appearance gigs. I mean,
Right,
you'd
right.
be perfect for a Google corporate party.
Right. And if you continue with that awkward,
Yeah.
lovable guy, you can work corporate.
Right.
You can't work corporate with that other stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can work corporate. You can work. You can feature for a lot of these guys that do want to get down and dirty because they don't want to have another dirty guy. They want to be. They want that. They want to start off with a clean slate. You can work for getting a headline. You can feature for a woman who's headlining. It just opens up so much more opportunity, and the more you think about it, the more you're going to be able to write these things.
And Matt, how many times a week do you have sex?
Depends how many times I get drunk.
I see.
Usually the same amount.
And you get drunk on peach schnapps, right?
I do
Or
have a very low
something.
tolerance.
See,
Yes.
now
Have a cheap day.
That's a cute
Right?
drink, right?
Uh-huh.
And I would sit there and go, who am I? Who's this person on stage? What do I drink? What do I listen to? What podcast do I listen to? What's my favorite T-shirt? You know what I mean? Just all these things so that when you're writing a joke about I planned the best date for her, we were starting with Bellinis.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then she's like, are you sure you're not gay? And then, oh, that's my change jar. For what? Never mind. You know what I mean? Once you have your point of view and you know where you're going, then you can just start to write and build your act.
Right. And then see, I have jokes because I'm actually a lawyer by day.
Why aren't you talking about
My
it?
God.
I know we're supposed to be positive, but
No,
there's so many things
this
that
is what it's about.
Because I don't know, I feel like it's so boring. That's why I was trying to. I think I'm too much in my head about trying to do something unexpected. So I tell. Normally when I'll be like, oh, I'm a lawyer, and then it's like, oh, he's funny for a lawyer.
What kind of lawyer are
Like
you?
corporate boring,
Business?
business, yeah, like corporate finance, securities, transactions. Not
So
good
that's
stuff.
what you do. And then, okay, let's just stay with the awkward.
Right, I fell asleep as I'm
Perfect! Oh my God! Perfect! Do you see how when you're you,
Right.
that this stuff just falls out of your mouth.
Right.
Okay, so go back to that corporate lawyer. This is what I do. Now, let's say you're telling the audience that. But if you were dating a girl and she says, so what do? I'm a lawyer. What kind of lawyer? Are you going to give her that answer? Or are you going to like...
Jazz it up?
Yeah. So jazz it up in the most nerdy, stupid, well, I did do... I don't know, because I'm not you and I'm not in your
I'm a
head.
lawyer for Playboy model. No. I'm a lawyer.
I represent the Avengers.
Yeah.
Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
So,
But you know what I
Star
mean?
Trek.
But I think it's brilliant that you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
Because people want to hate a lawyer. So
Right.
if you get up here and you're mean to women,
That's
that
just
won't
another
work.
reason to
it's another reason to not like you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not going to be likable, then you need to establish that character up front. And there are very few people that can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Very few.
It
Billy
is.
Burr can bitch forever, and he's hilarious.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of work.
Right.
But it's also more who he is.
It's who he is.
And
Yeah.
Anthony Jeselnik is,
Yeah.
again, that bitter, style.
That's
Yeah.
it's
But-
like sometimes where I'll see. For a long time, I was seeing a lot of comedians who are trying to be Mitch Hedberg, and there's only
Only one Mitch.
like you can't.
So
You got to
be
figure
you,
out who
Mash
you are.
Matter. You're funny as it is.
That's hilarious. That's so, just what you said about being a lawyer. I fell asleep saying it. Right? So to jazz it up on a date, I tell them I'm a Avery Label lawyer. You know what I mean? So you're still trying to be sexy and funny, but still what you come up with is still
Awkward.
wah wah. Yeah, awkward.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Joshua, from one awkward guy to another, do you have any advice for him?
Well, I have some questions.
Okay.
First of all, general question: are you straight or gay?
I was straight.
You are straight. Okay. Because when I've seen you perform, you come off a little. To be honest, you come off a little.
Flamboyant.
Yes, a little bit. Because you
Make
have.
it work.
But you can with that gay line. I think that was
Yeah.
That
And also,
did it for me.
do you have? I feel like you have a little bit of. Do you have a little bit of a lisp?
Oh, I have a joke about the fact that I have a
A
lisp.
lawyer with a lisp.
The joke is that I was out the other night and someone came up to me and said, "What's your accent? You have a weird accent." And I'm like, "What? I don't have an accent." And they're like, "Yeah, you have a lisp." And I'm like, first of all, I dispute I even have a lisp. Second of all, lisp isn't an accent. It's not like I'm from Lispania.
Perfect. See, and you know what too is people forget is they need to take their physicality into their when you get on stage, they're looking at you. So if you're
And listening.
Mhm.
So when you get up there, you usually make a remark about. Like when I get on stage, I always look like the mom that got out of the house. I put on my pearls. I got my nylons on. Don't you spill on me. And so, and I get up here, I'm just happy to be out of the damn house. And they get it. So if you're tall, if you're short, if you're fat, if you're skinny, Margaret Brown does the best line when she gets out here. And you know Margaret, right? How y'all feeling? And they all go crazy. And she goes, pretty good, huh? That sets us apart. And so, you know what I mean? So you call attention to what they're noticing. Like I notice it too. But don't make it your whole act unless you're willing to do like Gabe Iglesias is willing to do the whole fluffy bit, forever and ever, which is brilliant. But very few comics can carry that persona. You want to have more to draw from.
Right.
So
The lawyer with the lisp.
The lawyer with the lisp.
I'm
Yeah.
never gonna forget.
And that totally plays into that whole metrosexual thing. And people think I'm gay. And
You know what I want in an attorney? A
lisp.
lisp. That's what I'm
Right?
looking for.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to traffic violations.
Arguing
You
in
know?
front of the judge.
That's-
The lisp.
They didn't see the stop sign. Are you not understanding me? It's funny. Well, Matt, thank you so much
Thank
for
you very
joining us
much.
today. I hope you had a good time.
Yes, amazing. And
All
great
right.
advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you at Flappers.
Yes, thank you. Great.
Soon enough. All right. Well, we're going to close out the FlappCast today. Debbie, let's remind them this Friday, Saturday, 8 and 10 o'clock.
8 and
There's
10 o'clock.
Still a few tickets left, but
Okay.
Debbie does sell very well here, so get your tickets, please, and come out and see her along with Joel Bryant and some surprise celebrity guest drop-ins.
Yes.
And Joshua, who's in Claremont this weekend?
We have the original Latin king of comedy, Joey Medina.
Joey Medina. Oh my God, Joey Medina.
And
Oh
Debbie,
my
remind
gosh.
them again of your website and your Twitter.
It's
and-
Debbie on the web, and I have only 30 nightshirts. I sell a piece of merchandise that's just for the ladies. Cute little nightshirts, and there's a whole explanation that goes with them. Easy access. Woohoo! So I'll have those for sale here. So
All right, and then please tell us this weekend if your 5 days a week of sex work for you this week.
I will.
All right?
I will.
All right, I'm waiting to hear.
okay.
Thanks everyone for joining us on another exciting
Thank you for
episode of the
having me.
FlappCast.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
Thank you, Deb.
That was fun.
Thank you, Matt. That was very great. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I kept trying to go positive.
You were
No, you were
positive
very
because
positive.
there's so much there.
Just because you have comments.
No, that was so perfect.